What is going on, guys? Your boy Random Guy Kev here, and I'm here with my boy Caber, and we're gonna be talking about Fight Night Season 2, KWA's Fight Night Season 2. Um, Season 0 and Season 1, um, we liked a lot. Season 2 lacked the spice that Season 1 and Season 0 had, I think, but it did have some creativity that still kind of intrigued me personally because I like some of the stuff to get the people on the teams. It was kind of like a wow. It gives me a reality show like Love Island type of vibe. Like
How dare you insult it like that? How dare you, sir?
who's getting voted off the island if they don't perform
The
well.
disrespect.
I don't think that's disrespect. That's full. This is like this is great. No, I think that's kind of hey, who's getting voted off the island in the initial beginning part, and then I mean kind of Survivor. Okay, Survivor then. Like that initial like, all right, you got to show your skills, and then at the end, you gain immunity from being voted off the island, type thing.
I have a feeling you and I are going to have very different opinions on this based on how you opened. Strap in,
Uh,
kids.
so initially, let's talk about how it kind of started, I guess. So initially, if you guys haven't watched KWA Fight Night, I will leave it in my description so you can watch it and catch up to whatever has been going on. But essentially, KWA's Fight Night is essentially a 1v1 competition, um, putting your skills to the test and whatnot. Initially, it started off as a team. Yeah, the people from last season that kind of won or were in the top five, top six, or something like that, had their own respective teams, and they would curate their teams to um, take on other people's teams and see who could make it to the top, essentially, right?
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
like Team Rooster,
yeah,
Team Young, Team Valiant, Team Ranger Red.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like Ultimate Fighter if you're a fighter.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, wow. Damn, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I
Ultimate
didn't.
Fighter. um, so I mean, personally, I thought it started off kind of cool. I like the testing everybody's skill set with the pop shooting and doing like kind of like a the mill speed in the building thing, going somebody's watching the building and then you got to shoot all the target type thing. I thought that was pretty cool just to get people eliminated and get people points. I think it gave viewers another aspect of just hey, just straight on 1v1 death match type of thing, because sometimes that does get boring. Let's be honest, in the competitive space, that hey, whoever kills this person first gets boring type thing. And I know with KWA they kind of switch the dynamic of the 1v1 where it's like, hey, you got to collect the points first, try to collect the points before you take out the person type thing. And but they try to add another spin to it. But for me personally, since it's gotten to season 2, I felt like they should have added I different faces as far as like a regional aspect to it. There are, I want to say, 7 regions in the United States, if you want to call it that. Um, Federally, 7 regions. And I think you should pull from
Federally. Damn.
federally, yes. You should pull from every region. And when I say pull, I mean visit those fields, put on a showcase. Hey, KWA Fight Night, boom, pick up 1 or 2 people to be like, hey, come to Cali. We're gonna shoot the official. We're gonna spend a weekend just shooting this. Boom, boom, boom. And I think that would give. I feel like that would have gave people more like, hey, this guy's from the Northeast region. I'm going for him. I don't care. Like I don't care if I know this other person from the West Coast or the Midwest. I'm going for this guy from the Northeast region because he's from my region. Rep it hard. Let's go. Um, and keep it moving to bring additional interest into it. But I feel like people lost interest in Fight Night because remember the 2-year turnaround for airsofters We get people in, and then
2
we
years,
lose people.
maybe.
If that. And again, the people that first started watching, season 0 and season 1, that was during like COVID, 20, I want to say 21, like endish COVID, middle COVID thing.
Yep.
And like that was big hype because there was nothing like that happening on the scene. And I think KW brought some type of innovation with that, the camera and doing the interviews and stuff like that. Thoughts? I'll stop right here so you can put in your thoughts.
Yes and no, so to kind of like reverse engineer it.
Yep.
You could, if you go to the KWA YouTube and you look at the views that these videos got, it blows anything that the current season blows it out of the water. I'm talking, we're not even really in some of the ballparks in some of this. So the one where it was Undead Fred against Roosta, which was their second episode.
Yeah,
15K.
season 0. Yeah.
15,000 views. You look at Manny versus Virus, 46,000 views. And there are a couple other, ones that are nowhere near that realm. But if you look at the current season compared to previous, it's not even a contest.
Yeah.
Could that be COVID related? Maybe. But I feel like the only way we would actually be able to tell is if someone actually studied how, what the viewership was like during pandemic, to the point where like, oh yeah, it's because everyone was this. That could be a thing. Airsofters aren't going to be able to know that because none of us study analytics like that.
Yep.
So it very
especially
well
Airsoft.
could be.
And,
oh my
yeah,
God. Especially Airsoft.
Yeah, it's like probably between me, you, and a couple other people that actually look at numbers and analytics and be like, all right, let me base it against this and this, and like actually do research, because essentially it's my job to do Excel spreadsheets and stuff for work. But it's just like you said, the numbers tell a different story. I mean,
So
but
if
you
we
gotta,
look at to even go crazier on the numbers, if you look at the last, let me find, IDMS was not very short, was not much longer after the pandemic. IDMS didn't, I'm looking at their videos right now. I don't see anything from IDMS. Correction, the first IDMS match got 1,300 views. Everything else, it looks like, failed to hit 1,000, and it looks like the average was 500 views. So to go from
IDMS, what year was that? That was
a year ago. That was a year ago.
You got to think about it though as well. Like,
so it could be, but here's my thing: is if we look at the $10K, the $10,000 match,
yep.
you have content that went 23,000 views, and you have the episode before that at 4 with Rooster Ryan, 23,000 views. And before that one, we have Young and Manny at 17,000 views 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Then we look at IDMS. Doesn't come close. Ryan's still the same guy. Some of these same guys are still on the card. Then we look at the finale of this season, the final episode, 2K. I don't think it was COVID.
Here's another thing to throw in there. About YouTube Reels, that they're being pushed out more than anything else. And at that time, when the initial ones came out, YouTube Reels wasn't. It was like in the infancy stage.
Yeah, it wasn't popping.
And it wasn't being pushed out. Like, YouTube has it in your face now. It's the first thing you see. It's very annoying. That's why you see like a lot of companies pushing out YouTube Reels. And if you look at some of the companies' YouTube Reels, that should do 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. But then you go to their regular videos, 200 views, 50 views.
What's crazy is I see the opposite for KWA's Reels. If you look at their shorts. If you look at their shorts, especially anything that is specific. Now, granted, a lot of this is like interviews and stuff, and that doesn't pop. So yeah, that could be a thing. Like, hey, we need to get
interviews
gameplay shorts.
If it's,
I know. I did a bunch of interviews, and they never even got published.
Yeah. And once you throw some quick gameplay, boop, 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 that shit's going up to the moon.
So
Um,
that's just like the content growth of it. Oh, this is spray paint for anyone, by the way. I'm in spray paint and rental stocks. Anyway, for the format itself, and this is my main point, because you opened it up from an entertainment aspect. You reality shows, stuff like that. I hate that stuff. Now, the only place in sports that I can think of where we see some of this crossover is what I suggested, the Ultimate Fighter.
yeah, yep,
The
yep. You're
Ultimate,
right.
now granted, there are, if you're, okay, so let's just all be MMA heads for a minute. Granted, Ultimate Fighter has tanked over the years, but you could also say that they're fight fans, so they just want to see fights.
Fights. Yep.
And you could also say that the Dana White Contender Series is a superior product, and a lot of guys have honored that. Okay, there is that argument. However, I still think that if we are pushing this as an athletic endeavor, right, as a fight night, not as a game show, we need to treat it like sports. We need to treat it like a combat sport. So this entertainment, voting, all this other crap, if you look at the first couple seasons of The Ultimate Fighter, they did this. They did all the games and all the silliness, and they changed that format over the years. And went, no one wants to watch this. They just want to watch training. They want to learn about the athlete, and then they want to see the athlete perform. They don't need just sort of what I would just briefly describe as like smoke and mirrors as a game show.
Yeah.
So I am curious, and I would bet money if KWA would see this as more as a one-on-one combat sport. Name me in boxing or in MMA where there are bracketed tournaments still to this day. Strikeforce used to do it. What happened to them? They got bought out. Bellator used to do it. What happened to them? PFL did it. No one cares. Name me the greatest PFL fighter. No one cares. In combat sports, where it is a one-on-one competition, no one really cares about a bracketed tournament versus like a March Madness or the Super Bowl or team sports. So I think that is heavily influenced into it. So if we were to go away from this format and go more towards
2v2s, 3v3s.
divisions,
Mm.
if we're keeping a one-on-one, why don't we have a division? So you could do a female division, call it the Black Widow division. I think that like the greatest female competitor. Granted, there is a friend of ours who is like, nah, don't put me against girls, put me against guys because the guys are better.
Equality.
There is that.
Equality, my guy. What are you talking about?
We could do an age or some sort of like a pro league versus or like a novice, intermediate sort of a thing, or heavyweight in age. You mean to tell me you wouldn't want to see like TJ from Murder Inc. go against Ryan from TTG? That's not entertaining to you, bro?
I mean,
shut
TJ's
the
a
front
beast.
door.
TJ's a beast though. TJ's a beast though.
That's,
right? Like, put TJ against anybody. TJ clean the house. But I mean,
after he cleans it, we go eat.
For real. Not saying
That's what
Ryan's
I
not
wanna
good,
do.
but TJ moved fast for a big guy. But
the
like
other problem you're gonna run into with these bracketed tournaments is everyone that shows up is irrelevant because we all know what the finals are going to be. We know. Go look at this year's finals compared to last year's finals. It's going to be the same people. It's going to be the same bracket over and over again, and it's going to get super boring.
I mean,
versus
I'm sorry,
if we had a champion and then basically super fights in a ranking system. So the number 3 guy can take the champion on this one, and then 4 and 5 have to fight it out. More of a ranking system similar to boxing and mixed martial arts.
So, I kind of like, personally, I liked when it got to like the final 8, because before that it was like, I feel like it was good, but because I wanted to see certain people play, and I wanted to see how their play style was, because they were super like good in the beginning stuff.
Oh, you mean styles make fights? Oh, do we hear that anywhere else?
He's stupid. But no, but like I wanted to see certain people play like and see how like and you thought somebody was like, oh yeah, they're gonna dominate this one, and they got completely like washed, and it's like, damn, like he had it before, but mentally they got mind fucked. And some people gave up too. We saw that in a couple of fights. People just like, damn, they up on points on me, fuck it. I'm gonna just let it go. But yeah, I mean,
You also saw competitors that were terrified.
yeah, yeah.
You go, I'm a name drop. Come at me. Rose and Crystal. Go back and watch all that content beforehand. Tell me she didn't have fear in her eyes. Anyone that has done individual competition before, if you've wrestled, if you've grappled, if you've boxed, you can see that. And you go back, look in her facial expression, go listen to her tone of voice. Tell me she had confidence in her victory. Tell me.
I mean, and my thing is, if you're going into something like this, some people have that, champion, I'm gonna eat everybody type mentality. Other people just have fun with it, and they don't see things as competitive. It's just like, yo, I'm here, I'm just rocking. Let's see where it goes. If it goes somewhere, cool. If it doesn't, all right, I'm cool with it.
Well, then that's
But I
kind
feel
of
like,
also, that gets into the next part that's frustrating is schedule.
yeah, that's the other thing. It's like,
KWA's only going to hit up who can make it.
make it. Yep.
Doesn't matter if they're good. Doesn't matter if they're terrible. I mean, my God, let's go back and look at some of these first matches from their zero season. The only reason those guys got in there and gals is because they had that day off.
I mean, and the other thing is,
Want
a
to tell
lot
me
of,
that Undead Fred belonged in there with competitors? Stop. Don't eat. Stop it.
I mean, I personally, I like seeing people play different styles. Like people that play outdoor play indoor, people play indoor that play outdoor. And it's like I don't like when me personally, I don't like when people put me in a tunnel, because if you've played with me, you know how I play. So it's just like, all right, Kevin's not the person to do that. With Undead Fred, he does normally play outdoors. I agree. He doesn't seem like the
A nice way
aggressive
to say
type.
it.
Yeah, he's not the aggressive type. Um, and he came out of his element. I like to see stuff like that personally. Like say if they get like Jet doing that. I mean, Jet said he used to play speedball back in the day. Let's get him back in that element. When he came to EA, he was on the speed field having a ball, skipping around, running up on people. Like, and it's not necessarily his play style anymore, but he had a good time doing it. Like, win or lose, it's one of those things like, okay, let me see if I want to. I think that's one of the things where uh, we need to just continue to be open minded, because a lot of those people that play outdoor, they might switch it up and be like, all right, I'm gonna play indoors now on, like, because I
Right.
want to get better. I want to get better with my CQB
But the
style.
matchups were terrible.
Yeah, the matchup was kind of.
You mean to tell who thought putting Undead Fred up against Roosta was a good idea?
I mean,
Did we need to see that to know what the outcome was going to be? Did we need to?
you never know. There might have been an upset.
Good sir.
You
How
see, I
dare
stay
you?
positive. I stay positive.
Nah,
I stay
we don't
positive and
need to
open
see that.
minded. But you
Now,
never
if
know.
let's say you have a guy, and I know I'm picking on him, and I'm sorry. So you have like your Undead Freds or your Foxes of the world. Granted, this is also these examples are being given in a world where these guys have time, energy, and resources. You don't put them up against the guys that you know are just going to sweep them. Like that's not how fighting works.
Yeah.
That's not how boxing works.
You
That's
want to
not
see
how
some,
MMA
you want to see
works.
something
The
entertaining.
guy that makes their UFC debut isn't going against one of the guys in the top 3.
No, I agree. I
They
agree.
work their way up from the amateurs to the regionals to the big leagues, and then they have to work their way up in the big leagues. So let's
Yep.
say we had an Undead Fred. Put him against someone like Jet, who
Yeah.
doesn't have a background in this, who isn't one of the greatest players to ever do it on a
Yeah.
team that's one of the greatest teams to ever do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that's just bad matchmaking.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, and it's
I'm
something
not
that,
knocking that guy for trying it. I'm knocking KWA for making that fight.
and like, I mean, moving forward, even in season one, I know they tried to put. I mean, They try to put some of the girls against girls. I've seen, I've seen that a couple. Like most people try to do that when girls try to play airsoft. They try to put the girls against girls. Like uh, airsoft has no gender or race. Just put everybody against everybody. We're here to all have fun and
Yeah.
be challenged.
And
Personally,
that
that's how I feel
was,
about it.
I'm gonna throw her out there. That was Sam's point.
Yeah.
Was none of these girls are on my level. Put me against Joey,
Mhm.
and she was right.
Yeah.
I'll put Sam. I'll still, even though she's out of like kind of out of the tournament scene or this, that, or whatever. I'll still put Sam against most girls that I can think about. Like obviously, there's a few new girls that are coming onto the scene. I know there's
Right.
a couple on the East Coast that are doing great things. Uh, I know up north we have a girl out here on DBS who's doing great things. But at the time, let's go back 2 years. At the time, there was no competition for Samantha. So
Yeah.
the
No, I
one way
agree.
you could look at it is you could be the reigning Black Widow champion and just be the reigning women's
It's
champion
just
for
the
a
only one.
while.
But
Because if we look at Amanda Nunes for years, unchecked. Valentina Shevchenko for years, unchecked.
yeah, so I hear what you're saying in regards to making kind of like a divisional thing. But airsoft is too small for that. Let's be honest.
Which is
Airsoft
the
is way too
downside.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, airsoft is too small for that. We already see the impact that having so many competitive events happening. It's the same. We don't have that many teams. We don't have that many people that are willing to pay to travel.
Which is
So
why KWA is just West Coast kids. And even really it's SoCal. I mean, there's been a few NorCal kids that go down, not a lot because so here's the other thing that I would like to see. Instead of one big winner take all $10,000 pot, which again, we don't see that in
yeah, we
fighting.
don't. Definitely don't.
Why not break that up and cover someone's travel, or just do like a so in fighting you get your show money and your win bonus. So I don't know what the math could break down to. Like, all right, hey, you take a day off, we'll give you $250 if for your show, or $500, or depending on like in boxing, like how well you do will determine how much your show money and your win bonus can be.
Yeah.
Something so instead of just one big
But you're
nugget.
you're thinking you're thinking too far ahead. We're not
I
there
know,
yet.
I know, which is
We're
the
not there
problem.
yet. Wait, let's bring it back down to earth. We're
I
not there
know.
yet. Back to earth where airsoft is very small and tiny and condensed. So yeah, so again, like
All right, so here's
or
the other part of that.
go ahead.
If you know, if you're just doing it for fun and this, that, and the other, and you see there's $10,000 on the line, but you've got Eddie, Young, and Roosta competing, why do you even compete?
Why not?
You think you're gonna beat them?
Why
So
not?
are you going to spend all that time, effort, and energy on something you're just doing for fun? Now, if you're in
Why
LA,
not?
that might not be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're my thing is if you're on the West Coast, KWA hits you up, shit, why not? Why
But
not?
if
Like you
let's
could
say
assume
you're look at the Bay Area, look at how many look at Sacramento, look at just like where I'm at, and all the dudes dope on the scene, AJ, Joey, all kinds of
and
dudes.
I agree. That's why I'm saying like just because you mentioned those three names, if one of the other good people on the West Coast get hit up, I'm like, yo, come through. Why wouldn't they go? If they have the time, you see, if they have the
And
time,
the
yeah, and the
shut
funds
up.
to get there. So I mean, yes, what KWA is doing, it's in a convenient place for
It's
people that
still in
can
its
actually,
infancy.
yeah, it's still in a convenient place for where people who can reach it, and that's it. So again, that's
We
it's
have
dope.
20-year ideas.
Yeah, and that's it's cool. It's all right. They're ahead of their time. They're laying
Oh,
down the
so ahead.
foundation, and that's good.
We're we're
I feel like
just
yeah,
sayers of nay.
I feel like a bunch of companies gonna look back at the videos and be like, yo, they did that. Let's try to do that now. Let's try to do that. Like even if they stop doing fight night, somebody else is gonna pick that up and be like, oh, we should do the same thing. Call it something else and do the same thing. But
And to give them their flowers, if you look at where they Oh my God, go back and look at the very. I don't
The
even think
very
it's.
first,
It's the 0
it's
episode
the
or
zero
whatever.
one. Zero ones
Horrible.
were the test. Yeah,
It's
zero ones were the
horrible,
test.
especially compared to now. They
But
got
that's
Evike
why
as a
that's
sponsor.
that's why I don't look at my
Stop.
old
That's
stuff.
so
That's why I don't look
Gucci.
at my old stuff. I never
Oh,
look at my.
you've got. Oh, it's just so fun to watch the first UFC every day,
Oh my
every
God,
now and then.
it's one of those things where you look at your old stuff like, damn, thank God I know better and do better. That's really it. And if you've never, and that's why I talk to people and tell them like, take constructive criticism as a way to improve yourself. Don't think of it as a negative. It's always a positive, in my opinion, because it's like one way to improve everything you do in life. Hey, I fucked up with this event. My bad. I'll fix it next time. I
Keep it
learned. I
moving.
thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'm moving on. And a lot of people don't take that feedback from the community and be like, okay, okay. They just already want to attack back. Hey, fuck you, kill yourself. Hey, you eat shit and die. Hey, I have more followers than you. Da 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 da.
Average
Like, bro,
airsofter
why?
comments.
Yeah, like, why are you coming? Why? Like, hey, like, fight me. Like, bro, relax. I am just giving you some criticism on an event that you had open that you want to make public to everybody, and hopefully you take my criticism as a way to improve and better what you're doing. That makes you either buy new equipment or get you a whole crew that actually works on stuff like this, a whole development, production crew, and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
sometimes people don't take feedback like that,
No,
especially in airsoft. And you know that they don't take it in airsoft.
airsofts are
Motherfuckers
hosed.
don't take it like that. But um,
I would
the
like to see him break down that 10K pot and give it to dudes to comp them for travel.
comp for travel.
I think
I mean, I
because
don't.
hey man,
I don't
like
know. What they, I don't
Texas,
know.
I want
I don't
those
know what they're doing
guys.
on the back end. I don't know what they're doing on the back. They might be
It
comping
might
people.
be.
Yeah, they might be not a lot, but they might be giving us something to. Hey, come through. We'll pay for this. We'll pay for this.
I feel like there's a way more efficient way to use 10K than just
And just give it
one
to one
big
person.
pot.
I get you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I
Like,
mean,
what do you think you'd have? What do you think would give you? Let's look. What do you think would be a better product, right? Let's say they did them less, so we knock out all these multiple. We stop cranking out all these episodes, right? We stop doing that. We do 3, maybe
three
3 to
episodes.
5.
Uh-huh.
Break it down to whatever that money would work out, and just break it up. Everyone gets a
Something.
piece of that
And
10K.
keep it moving. But
You
okay,
think
so
that would
let's.
be a better product? Because I do.
I don't
Little
know.
more motivation. Maybe we could get some fresh blood in there. I'm tired of seeing Young beat dudes over and over again. Like, oh, cool. Young's in the finals.
I mean, I hear you. I hear you. What are things? I'm hearing everything that you didn't like. What are things that you did like about
Oh
this?
my God, the production quality, the editing is crispy.
Hmm?
It's especially compared to what it used to be. It's so much better.
Commentary was solid too. Commentary was
Who
solid.
was doing that OG commentary? I keep
Oh,
forgetting. Oh, I forgot. I was doing that.
were you?
Yeah. You're not going to beat that OG team
I
of
guess.
me, Cole, and Punk.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Ultimate degenerate dads.
anyway, no, the quality, that stuff. I like the game. So again, I like the initial game modes that they had people doing to test their proficiency in
The game
stuff.
modes are dope. I like
Yeah.
them. Like the little grabbing the things. It's
Yeah.
I find that to be more entertaining than just gunfighting.
Again, just straight gunfighting is getting boring.
Boring.
Straight, yeah, it's straight boring. Like, okay, I shoot you first. Hey, game over. That is getting boring. Like, I wish that in the fight night, if they introduced a 2v2, I think that would be interesting. Like
I'm not mad at that.
a 2v2, someone
Then
try
you
to
get
grab the
tag team
objective.
champions. Oh,
Yo,
let's
that would be that,
go.
bruh, that would be fire. And then you defending your title you're already in the championship. You have to defend your title, essentially.
That's where I want it to be.
Yeah, that would be dope. I would love that. I would love for them to. The 1v1's cool. It's not. I feel like it's kind of, if they're going to continue the 1v1s, they got to expand it to the regions and pull people in from the different regions and be like, all right, we got our East Coast, we got our down south, we got our up north, we got our West Coast, something like that, versus like everybody from Cali. roll in here,
Yeah,
and maybe
something.
one random person from Texas.
Again,
Um,
it's hard to do because again,
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
looking at
schedule.
from athletics.
Yeah,
So the
schedule and
only time I really see what's the greatest dual team in tennis?
Serena
And her
Williams
sister.
or Venus. Yeah,
That's about it.
you're
That's all
right.
we can think of.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
it's harder, and I only say that because if we look at athletics as a whole, you mostly see individual or team,
huh.
like
Like
big
when
team.
and when you say team, yeah, fives. That's what I'm saying. Like it's either one or five. Like let's
Look at
switch the
basketball.
let's switch
Look
it
at
up
the
to two v two.
three-player league that they got, that Ice
Yeah,
Cube had
that's
going on. Three-player
big.
basketball.
Yeah, big
How
three.
poppin' is that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're a basketball head, you watching that,
I mean, the viewership has gone up for that because
so
it's
it's
different.
possible.
Yeah. So I like if again if they continue with the 1v1s, switch it up to more region. If they move towards a 2v2 format, now it's a tag team. I like a tag team type thing. Like let's
KWA Tag Team Championship belts. Yes, please.
yeah, that sounds
Take all my money.
I think that sounds fire. I mean, they could kind of keep the same format they got going on. I mean, I think I would like random people to be on teams, not actual like people that
Like draw
practice.
like names from a hat.
Yeah,
Or just like, oh, it's your birthday, you're 13 today. Why don't you go against two guys from SYG?
I think I think they could try those two formats where it's 2v2, where it's like connected teams versus a 2v2 drop hat. I think they should do like a test run and see how it works out.
I'm not mad
But I
at that
like the
idea.
randomness. I like the randomness of getting up with somebody. You just gotta figure out how they play. You gotta figure out how to communicate.
I'm not mad at so that's like East Conference, West Conference. That's like Pro Bowl stuff. I'm
Yeah,
not mad at that.
figure it out. I mean, again, things that they
Or
can.
like community voting. Like, hey, what do you want to see? Kind of a
Who
thing.
you want? Yeah, that community voting.
Who does that? Basketball does that? No. Something a
Uh,
while ago they used to do stuff like
no,
that.
I mean the
Whereas
All Star game,
All-Star game.
All Star game. But
I'm
like,
okay with that. I'll watch that all day.
I'm cool with that. Like, this is the KWA Fight Night season 2. To me, yes, like you said, it had lower viewership than season 1 and season 0. A number of things could have factored into that, or like,
Yeah.
yeah, a number of things could have factored into that. Maybe people weren't just interested in what was going on anymore, because same recycled thing. It's just becomes redundant. Quality got better as fuck. Quality got fucking popping.
I'd like to see him take a break,
A season off.
a season off, and then we focus on IDMS. So
Ooh,
maybe we
I did.
do it every 6 months or every
Yeah,
year, whatever.
back and forth, flip flop from one to the other.
So we
That would be fine.
do say 2024, say like the fall of 2024. Say we do it in the fall or whatever.
Yeah.
This year we only focus on IDMS. Next fall we focus on Fight Night. So instead of just trying to push all this content and just it all gets watered down because there's so much to watch.
Yeah. I liked IDMS actually. I liked watching it. It was.
It's so fun to there's more to watch.
Yeah. I mean, for those that are watching, if you this is your first time hearing about Fight Night, go check it out. You can go check out season 0, season 1, 0, season 2. I'll leave a link in my description. Definitely check it out. I think I liked season 1. Season 0 was cool because you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You saw it was like the infancy, like, hey, this is our beta. We're testing it. Let us know what you think. This is what we're bringing to you. And then it kind of
There's
just
nothing wrong with it, but you got to start somewhere.
yeah. You got to start with something. They took feedback and got better from there. And then I thought it was very well.
Just
But
because
I
it's
mean,
niche doesn't mean it won't grow.
I
You
agree.
look at karate combat, you look at bare knuckle boxing. Those are,
Pillow
but again,
fighting, pillow
it's
fighting, face slapping.
but in
Body
those
versus-
niche circles, you really are having to appeal to certain specific demographics and
Yeah.
what they want. So like, not a lot of kids or like rentals are probably going to care about the KW. I used to go. Remember when we would do Avalon in Texas?
Yeah.
I remember one of those years, Fight Night was dropping, and I was like, "Hey!" We were in Waxahachie, Texas for.
I was there. Yeah, we were talking about it.
And we were like,
That was
"Yo, you should check this out."
Yep,
And
yep.
everyone was like,
What is
what
it?
is
Yeah,
that?
what
I've
is that?
never heard
I
of it. And we
remember.
were like, were we halfway into the season? Like we were a couple episodes deep.
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, yeah. I
But
think.
there were what we could just say is like intermediate to advanced level airsofters, guys that have been in the game, guys that tech on their own stuff, and they just had no awareness of Fight Night.
Yeah,
But that's just because it has to grow.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
airsoft.
a fight degenerate, so I watch all of this stuff.
I mean, airsoft as a whole, again, it's like I think we're in the phase right now where it's like the refresh. We're getting the
Yep.
new people coming in, old people just saying, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
I'm
And
old.
that's what
Just had my
that's
second
what I've been
kid.
seeing. I'm like,
Got a
damn, shit,
mortgage.
we're in that cycle now. Fuck.
Some of
Like
the
I
guys
hop,
on LTD, I think they have more than one kid.
yeah, they do. And
I've met
airsoft,
some of their kids at the
airs,
field. Like, oh God, we are old. We are
airs, airsoft is
old.
still their escape, and that's where we're at. Airsoft is an escape, guys.
When
Do you
I
want to
came into airsoft, most of these kids are now junior year of college.
or they were in high school, senior year high school. That's how old you are. Um, but do you want to leave people off with any more thoughts on the Fight Night season 2?
Not just like with anything, it's where do you see this? What is your focus? Do you want to be entertained, like what you would get? Like, do you want the drama, like your reality shows give you, or do you just care about who's better? So, is this more of an athletic endeavor for you, or do you just want to be entertained?
Yeah, and
Because
that's
sports go the same way.
and that's the thing. People are just like, hey, why don't you guys do the best, you know, uh, best player list, top 5 best player list? We can't.
Yeah.
Can't. There's no real way to gauge that. There's only a KWA Fight Night that does picks and chooses players to
You
do.
need you need some sort of metric or an
Yeah,
analytic. So like in sports, we can do that because everyone
everything
that
has
plays
has
basketball is
has
going to be on
stats.
the
Yeah,
NBA.
yeah,
All
they
your
have
football team,
stats.
no one in America, no one gives a damn about the CFL. No one cares about Canadian football
Yep.
in the United States. So like, oh, what about these guys?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, that's what we're gonna leave you guys with. So again,
Yeah,
take the time
Canada's
to
dumb.
take the time to
It's
look
aggressive for
at
no reason.
the KWA Fight Night. I'll leave it in my description, and then that's it. Just watch it, and then check out Caber and
That's
check out
me.
myself,
That's him.
and then that is it. That's it.
Don't be racist.
Bye.